Today's video is going to be about macronutrients. This is just the extreme basics. This is for everybody that's starting to count their macros. Maybe you started a challenge recently, need to count them. So this is for you to help you to learn the basics of what they are. So macros first, there are 3 macronutrients. So a macro means macronutrient, and the 3 of them are protein, carbohydrates, and fat. You'll see carbohydrates as carbs a lot. They're the same thing. So essentially all 3 of these nutrients play a different role in your body to help it in any sort of way, to help you to have energy, build muscle, multiple things. Some of them work together, so it's very important that you get all of them. So there is a certain balance that we like to have with our macronutrients, and that's why we count them. So this is why I enjoy counting macronutrients better than calories. I find it does help you better to achieve your goal, whether it's weight loss, weight maintenance, or weight gain. The reason being is if you are trying to lose weight and you're just counting your calories, you might be getting a lot of maybe fats and you're not getting enough protein to sustain your muscles. Or maybe you are looking to maintain your weight and you are weightlifting. Especially as a female, maybe you're getting a lot of protein and carbs, but you're not getting enough fats, and that can play a role with your hormones. So we want to prevent that. So that's one of the reasons why we count them. Basically, simply just to achieve your goals. I think it's a lot more beneficial than just counting calories, like I said, because there is that fine balance, and we can tweak them to help you to lose weight. Basically, when you are counting your macronutrients or your macros, you can help yourself to maintain your muscle mass while you are losing weight. That way, you're getting all the right nutrients in. So what is the overall goal? Why do we do this? It's so we can balance our meals. So personally, when I make macros for people, I make sure that they get their macronutrients at every one of the macronutrients at every meal, with some workout meals excluded from that. So basically it's balance. You need to have protein at every one of your meals. You need fat. You need carbohydrates. It's very important. It's going to help your body to work better. It's also going to help you to stay full longer, so you won't be snacking. So that's one of the reasons why we do that. I think that when you are doing this, it is really important to, when you're first starting especially, to track what you're getting in. I like to use the app MyFitnessPal. I think it's great. It's a wonderful resource and it's free. I would definitely use that. Whenever I send you your macros, you can simply put in the macros that you need to follow, and it will tell you how close you are to that. And especially after every meal, you'll be able to tweak to see if you maybe need a little bit more protein or a little bit less carbohydrates or fat in some of the meals. So this is going to be a big step for a lot of people. This is something completely new. What you have to remember when you're counting your macronutrients is you need to strive for good, not perfection. So my macros, if you could see that, so what I follow is something called RP. I just like it because it helps me to stay accountable. And essentially what I'm doing is at my first meal, breakfast, I'm having 25 grams of protein, 11 grams of fat, and 25 grams of carbs. So when I'm planning out my meals, maybe I don't hit exactly those numbers. Maybe instead I get 20 grams of protein and 12 grams of fat and maybe 28 grams of carbs. And it's not the end of the world if one of your meals is a little off. So always remember that, especially when you're first starting, you're learning, and it's okay to have a couple of meals, maybe multiple meals, where you're off. Maybe you forget that you have to count your butter and you have way too much butter on your meal, and then you realize you went way over the fat. It's okay. Move on to the next meal, plan it right, don't change anything, and keep going. So that's essentially macros in a nutshell. Where you could find them on the nutrition label is right where I have circled. So this is one of my meatless meals. So fat is going to be first, and then after that you're going to have your carbohydrates and then your protein. So that's where you're going to find it. So whenever you are making a meal, let's say I'm having bread and chicken, probably not my meal, but just because I have this right here. So what I would do is I would take the serving sizes of these and I would add up the totals. And I would try to make those totals match these totals. So my bread has 28 grams of carbs and this has 9 grams of carbs. So for breakfast, I'm only having 25 grams, so I probably wouldn't want to use this. If I'm gonna have this bread, I would have to have half of it and figure that out. But my meal 3, I have 50 grams of carbs, so this would actually be great. I could have one of these, a serving of this, maybe some berries on the side, fill in the rest of the carbs with whatever I have or whatever might be good with this, maybe some hummus. And then I would try to add up my protein. So this has 6 grams of protein. So this is actually fairly decent in protein for bread. And then 21 grams of protein here. So again, I would add it up. I would try to maneuver my servings so my protein, my fat, and my carbohydrates all fit within whatever meal I'm having. And this takes a lot of time. I will have another video about how I count my macros. I like to use a lot of math with it, so that might be the way you want to do it. Maybe you have your own way that you like to do it that you could share with us. That'd be great. But essentially, that is your macros. I hope that that was somewhat helpful. This is just the basics to start, and I'll have another video out for you guys soon. Bye!